Robert Schuller was the original televangelist. His Sunday program, The Hour of Power, ran from 1970 through 2010. He preached a positivity gospel, and he was the visionary who dreamed up the Crystal Cathedral, a glass house of worship in Garden Grove, California. In the early 1980s, I was one of the millions who tuned in regularly on Sunday mornings to hear his inspirational, uplifting message. It was a difficult time in my life, and his possibility thinking resonated deeply. His influence was vast and appreciated. Until one day when his egoic, exaggerated way of speaking got on my last nerve and I tuned him out. Imagine my surprise when all these years later, Schuller popped into my meditation for a chat. Hi, I'm Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records, bringing you another in a series of In the Afterlife interviews. Greetings and good day. Thank you for staying to speak with me. I notice he's not speaking so much in that exaggerated way. And as I note this, he throws back his head and laughs a hearty laugh. That bothered you, did it? Yes, it did. It felt phony to me. You say phony, I say emphasis. It matters little now, for it cannot be changed, nor in truth would I want to change it. That life has passed and cannot be altered. There was good, bad, and in between. All in all, it was satisfactory. Have you reincarnated? Are you presently in a body? Oh, heavens, no. I'm in no hurry. The Doobie Brothers just popped in singing Blackwater. Keep on shining your light, gonna make everything all right. And I ain't got no worries because I ain't in no hurry at all. Do you have plans to incarnate or is your agenda open? I've got a date penciled in, but it's subject to change. Is it far into the future? Yes, quite far. I had a good long life last time, learned a lot. Now I need to spend some time in soul school before fixing my next trajectory. There's a lot of thought and planning that goes into selecting a life experience. Lining up with other souls you wish to incarnate with or have nearby. All sorts of considerations. I don't remember any of that. Did you? Not a whit. I was clueless about any past lives, even that it was possible. No, I was wearing blinders about such things. Reincarnation was not in alignment with the Schuller doctrine. Was there something in particular that you wanted to talk about? Quite particular. You know, I frittered away a lot of precious time on projects that from this side of the veil don't amount to a hill of beans. If there's anything I'd like to leave behind, it's the understanding that endeavors should always be undertaken through the lens of your eternal soul. Is this something that furthers your spiritual growth, or is it about satisfying your ego? There was a lot of that going on. I certainly enjoyed myself in the doing, but those accomplishments feel sort of hollow now. So much wasted time that could have been spent raising my consciousness. Oh, I was bullheaded, thought I knew it all, and I was on a divine mission to straighten out those people who, in my opinion, were living less than upstanding lives. Yes, I struggled with judgmentalism a great deal. You might say it was my downfall. In my heart, I wrongly accused others of falling short on their spiritual journey. I was a bit full of myself. I deeply regret those judgments. I can laugh about it now. Who was that Schuller guy to judge others when he was so completely ego-driven, albeit well-meaning? I didn't know what I didn't know, but now I do, and I will do better next time. I've gone around in spirit to those who were harmed by my judgments to apologize and make amends. Most are not aware consciously, but their souls appreciate the gesture. We've resolved that karma, which is a huge burden off my mind. Yes, you can resolve karma from this side, so long as the other party is willing. Without their consent, the issue cannot be totally cleared, although it can be mitigated. We tackle issues one step at a time. There's never any sense of urgency. We choose our priorities and then go about doing the work. It's quite satisfying without all the third dimensional issues that interfere on your side. I spend a fair amount of time reconnecting with loved ones. That is a glorious pastime. None of the conflicts remain, only the love and appreciation. Without the physical infirmities of age, we can engage in whatever activities please us. I enjoy going for a good hike now and then. It's invigorating and refreshing. As I'm trying to visualize what it must be like to hike in the fifth dimension, he chuckles and says, "You might imagine it like the holodeck on Star Trek. Thoughts create things is quite literal here. Hold a thought of what you wish to create, and just like that, he snaps his fingers and we're transported to a mountainside with a refreshing breeze and a path winding up to the crest. Guess that's one thing we have in common, hiking. I enjoy it as well." "I know," he grins. "Why'd you think I brought you here? Let's go." With that, he's off on the trail. After a moment's hesitation, I follow behind. We get to the top and stand looking out over the land, taking in all that nature has to offer. There are raptors flying around with smaller birds cautiously flying by at a safe distance. The scent of pine is on the air. I swear, I can hear Heidi and her goats conversing on a nearby peak. And that's Heidi from the book and the movie. We take it all in without speaking. There's no need. After an undetermined time, because time is different in the fifth dimension, he looks at me and he asks if I'm ready to return. No, actually, I'm not. Before we head back, let's finish our conversation. There must be some reason that you had for wanting to connect. What you've said is interesting, but not really all that impactful. Is there some reason you're hedging, or are you working your way up to it? Ha ha ha. He laughs. You caught me. Yes, there's more. How about we sit on those rocks over there? He plucks a dried stem and pokes at his teeth. Now that's funny because he doesn't actually have teeth. Old habit, I ask? He smiles, tosses the stem aside, and just looks at me for a bit. I wait quietly. At this point, our conversation was interrupted, so we agreed to meet another time. Here begins part 2 of my conversation with Robert Schuller. "Paging Dr. Schuller, can we continue our conversation now?" "Why, yes, that would be fine. I've been waiting for you to return. What do you want people to know?" "I want them to know there's always hope. No matter how dark things may seem, all is right with your world. You might say, God's in his heaven and all is right with the world." That was a quote from Robert Browning, in case you didn't recognize it. He continues, "I urge you, never give up. Put your engine in neutral and idle if the need for a break arises, but be prepared to shift into overdrive the moment a way is shown. The path ahead may be filled with ruts and obstacles, but your angels will be at your side, blasting away the boulders and smoothing the path. It is their honor and delight to serve you in this way." "Are you an angel now?" No. Although I do function as a guest guide for some who were near and dear to me. That, along with my between lives work, occupies my time and attention. Do you have plans to return before the prophecy of Earthtopia is fulfilled? Perhaps. I'm still working with my team to synchronize lifetimes with those whom I'd like to resolve karma the next time around. If they're able to coordinate in time, then I would most certainly like to be present for the Great Awakening. If not, that's okay too. The state of the world is less important to my choice than balancing and resolving certain karmic conditions. It occurs to me that I don't know how to address him, so I ask, should I call you Dr. Schuller? My friends call me Bob. He smiles. Now I'm hearing Barbara Ann from the Beach Boys. He hears it too. He throws back his head and he bursts out with a big belly laugh and says, yes, I quite enjoyed the Beach Boys, being a transplanted California boy myself. Then I get a vision of him on the beach, sunning himself, wearing reflective sunglasses, soaking up the sun while expressing gratitude for the beautiful day the Lord has made. That's from one of his famous quotes. Now there's something you can learn from me. I worked hard, but I always made time for R&R. That was important for my own well-being and for the family dynamic. What I see in your world today are too many good people running themselves into the ground. What is the point if you don't allow yourself some time to smell the roses? Glorious roses they are, too. That's a surefire recipe for creating a box full of regrets. You don't want to get to the end of your life journey carrying a burden of regrets. Make it a priority to allow yourself to focus on today. Like a delicious ripe peach, savor every delicious drop of that sweet nectar. And when you've had your fill, discard and move along to the next delightful sensory experience. In the grand scheme of things, those precious moments count for much more than you know. What else, Bob? It feels like there's something more consequential you might have to say. There's nothing more consequential than the way you choose to spend your precious days on Earth. Take care of the planet that nourishes you. Look after those less fortunate. Spread love and sunshine wherever and whenever you can. Be a shining beacon for the way of the light. Show the world how a soul-aligned life might look and feel. Be a walking billboard for the joy of living your purpose. Be yourself fully. When you do that, everything else falls into place. You are the missing piece of the equation for living your best life. Just you. One person living their life with joy and peace, filled with love of self and humanity, can do more good than another who makes grand gestures, publicly prostrating themselves. Little things mean a lot, truly. Our time together has reached an end. Always walk in the knowledge of being deeply loved by your divine creator. Tread softly upon the earth. Be mindful of cleaning up after yourself. Give yourself and others the benefit of the doubt. As Andrew Lloyd Weber immortally wrote in Jesus Christ Superstar, everything's all right. Yes, everything's fine. Thank you, Bob. And thank you, viewer, for staying to the very end. Know that you are loved and appreciated so very much. Until next time, this is Debbra Lupien, voice of the Akashic Records. Bye.